Hello there, folks. I'm Dan Brown from a sort of interesting life.com, and you're joining me for a complete narrowboat trip. As you can see, we're pushing away from the side now, and we're going all the way around the corner where that big tree in the centre of the screen is right now. I thought that I would share this little trip in its entirety because, first of all, it's showing you what the quiet canal is like, especially over the winter months when it's a bit dark and damp and misty, rather than always showing you the perfect sort of summer blue sky, beaming sunlight, leaves on the trees sort of footage that you've seen in the past. And equally, I thought that this was the most suitable footage to talk a little bit more about a few of the things from narrowboat life over the winter. There's been a couple of people ask me a few different questions, so I thought we'll just do a quick video this week. I've got a little trailer video coming up later this week as well for just general advertising of the YouTube channel. So if you'd like to share the word and spread the joy, then please feel free to use that and, I don't know, do whatever you will. So anyway, down to business. The first thing that I'd like to talk about very briefly is why is the canal closed in so many places at the moment over the winter months? As I've mentioned in previous videos, and people have asked me why they close the canal and why it's closed in so many places, as just about a mile or so ahead there's a closure at Chirk Tunnel where the tunnel is completely dammed up and utterly drained of water as I speak. Then further back downstream, there's also things like new lock gates being put on. There's sections of canal, I think, being drained down there as well. And basically, it's all about maintenance, and it's all about doing it at the time of year when there are obviously the fewest boats about, so the least amount of disturbance possible to the canal network. So you can imagine, first of all, if you were going to do some work on the canal over the summer and do something like completely close and drain Chirk Tunnel, that would cause absolute chaos, as there's a huge amount of hire boat companies that operate on both sides of the tunnel within a certain mile radius. So you can imagine that obviously leave everything to the winter and then try and do as much work as possible all in that period of very calm, quiet canal life, which does in some cases, as people seem to feel, make it seem like there's a lot more work going on and a lot more closures going on than there really is. It's more a case of all of the work that can be done is being done at the same time rather than spread out over the year. So you've got many reasons and many different types of maintenance going on. So that could be something like Chirk Tunnel, that I think the brickwork is being inspected both and touched up both above and below the waterline, so that needs obviously draining. Then further down the canal, as I mentioned, there is at least one new lock gate being put on. So again, you can imagine that the process of removing and then replacing the lock gate is not the sort of process that you want to be rushing or trying to do at the height of summer. Equally, there's also things like the embankment and the towpath that needs seeing to. And just down by the Frankton Locks area, I've seen that there's a whole new siding being put in with wooden stakes, and there's now a nice new smooth gravel surface to the towpath. And obviously, something like that is stopping everything basically washing away down the canal and getting a thinner and thinner towpath until you have to walk sideways across it. So that's the basic principle behind the winter stoppages. Equally, one of the questions I've been asked an awful lot is that in times like this where I can't move up and down the canal, what do I do about refilling with water? And also, to put it mildly, what do I do about waste disposal? And when I say waste disposal, read toilets for that. So the water one isn't too bad because obviously there's only me on board and I can be very sort of frugal and very calm and sensible and ration out my water if it's an emergency, if the canal was going to be closed for a long, long time. But luckily, probably only about 2 miles, if that, from here, there's a water point at the side of the canal, and that's only going to be cut off from me for about 2 weeks, so water's not a big problem. Waste disposal and getting rid of the toilets, basically, bizarrely, I've already recorded a little bit of footage for this, which I'll put in the bottom corner now. It's something I've already talked about, but never really actually found a place to put the video in. And basically at this point where I've got no opportunity to get down the canal to empty any toilets, I've got to rely on a very brave friend or family member, and it's been done many times in the past in emergencies, to basically meet me in their car and then make a dreadful trip out to, well, from this point, for example, there are, within about 20 minutes, Chirk Marina, Meisterman Marina, the services at Maysbury and the services at Ellesmere that all can do simple things like toilet emptying and have facilities like that. So it's basically cross your fingers and then hope for the best when you get in that car. So there's no other way that I can really put it, as we do the classic sort of ends and thumbs up to the camera there. So that's just something I wanted to explain and just talk about, and now let's never mention it ever again. So I'll wrap things up and say thank you very much for watching. Also, thank you very much to everybody who's been checking out my narrowboat books ever since the Amazon announcement that all the prices would automatically rise from £1.53 to £1.99 on the 1st of January. So as I say, please do check them out while they're still at the cheaper price that I myself actually chose. It's been incredible to see the support for them, as once again my original book, The Narrowboat Lad, has reached #1 in the travel in the United Kingdom category. Well, as I record this, that's where it is, so that's unbelievable. Thank you very much. Anyway, I suppose on that note, I'll say thanks for watching. Check out my other videos. Feel free to subscribe and like the Facebook page, or even add me personally on Facebook and Twitter for plenty of photos and narrowboat life updates. And until the next time, just have a fantastic day. Keep it boat worthy, keep it wintry, and farewell.